Yeah! What's it say? In the wall. University. Prospect. Clay Ave. Webster Park. Tracy Tower.
Stay True Music. Faith Walk ENT. Presents.
Y'all fools just started something.
Get it pop.
Y'all fools just started something. Y'all fools
By
just
Mad
started
Eaton.
And if you wanna bring it, get it poppin' right now.
The hit single, Get It Poppin'.
And if you wanna bring it, get it poppin' right now. Get it poppin' like a can soda. I thought I told ya. Once my name step in the frame, game over.
Available now worldwide.
Columbus, Ohio, listen up, ditch the tax stress, and jump into the fast lane with New Lane Tax Services. All right, let's cut to the chase. Tax season is approaching quickly, and the pile of paperwork looks scarier than the line at the DMV on a Monday morning. It doesn't have to be that way. Introducing New Lane, your new go-to for stress-free taxes. Whether you're a freelancer juggling gigs or a small business owner expanding your empire, New Lane's got your back. With a team of tax pros who know the knowledgeable in tax law, credits, and deductions, we make sure you're not leaving a single dollar on the table. And the best part? We're right here in the neighborhood, ready to tackle your taxes with a cup of the finest Columbus coffee in hand. So why wait? Contact New Lane Tax Services and let's make this next tax season a breeze.
Yeah, man, you already know. It's your boy Lawrence Darnell, and I'm back with a part 2 of the video where Birdman's hitman caught 40 bodies and broke out of jail and had him doing crazy stuff at like 11, 12 years old, even 10. It's crazy. It's sick. But yeah, you already know. You know, get your snacks, get your drinks, roll something up, and let's get into this video. You already know. Let's do it.
And I was supposed to run back to the car, but I ran off back to the house. I went to this little cut in the alley.
Little Terrence had just committed the biggest sin, but there was only one thing on his mind.
I did it, and I hope I made him happy. I'm hoping Big Bro is happy that I pulled off this crime, got away, and most importantly, I didn't run my mouth. And I took the little 22 and put it under the old sofa. I used to sleep in the living room. My mind was on Big Bro being happy with me. And I know now I'm about to get me some fresh British Knights was jumping back then. British Knights, Felines,
So he went out there, 11 years old, and caught a body for Birdman. And then returned just for him to be happy with him and get him a fresh pair of sneakers. Like, that's how they influence these youngins, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow.
Those shoes, I'm about to get me something fresh to put on.
Wow.
So Terrence patiently waited at the house for Big Bro to come back around. And a few days later, there he would come.
A few days later, he would come around. You all right? Check on all right. Big knot of money. You put this, I would hide in my mother's house for him.
Like, how you gangster if you getting the youngins to do your dirty work for you? Like, really? You're supposed to be empowering them, you know what I'm saying? And saving the youth. You know what I'm saying? Strengthening their minds. Not sending them out here to destroy their life at a young age. Young. You know what I'm saying? In order for you not to catch the charge, you put it on young and while he young and grow up with his life destroyed and not be able to get a job or do anything because you got a record that wasn't even yours. You was moving out for somebody that all you wanted them to do was just like you and be proud of you and buy you some sneakers. That's crazy.
After days and weeks go by, Terrence is stuck on a particular mindset.
I thought I was tough. I thought I was bad. I just thought I was just a little bad. I was a little bad little boy, and I just, wanted to prove a point to people that I'm tough too. I'm tough too.
Well, not only was he feeling tough, but he was also feeling respected by his family. But was that really the case? You'll see. A few weeks after this tragic incident, another older brother of Terrence would swing by the house. This would be Ronald Slim Williams, the eldest brother and the richest as well. Although Slim wasn't the best looking guy,
that's crazy.
he was
That
the
is,
street and financial mastermind of the
brother.
entire family.
Slim.
According to Terrence, Slim was not a bad guy at all, but he was definitely all about the Benjamins. Well, here's what he came to do.
Big bro, come around with a white guy in a car. I signed some papers. I would later in years find out that that was the insurance man. So it's like if we messed up or if I fronted somebody dope, if they fronted somebody dope and they didn't pay the dope back or didn't pay, okay, when I get killed, they go get insurance money. You know?
At the time, Terrence had no perspective on what was really going on. All he thought was that his brothers were showing him love. He was pretty much...
So he put an insurance policy out on his little brother in case he get killed. He get the money for him. That's crazy. That's snake shiesty. This little man looking up to you, and you do him like that.
Doing anything they asked, just in the idea that he was making them happy. Well, sadly, it wouldn't be till much later in life when he realized that the family situation was not one of love.
I would later on down the line when I got to prison start reflecting back on them, like, man, what? Oh yeah, they play me like that, you know. But you know, as a youngster, you just happy you got big brothers that's
right
talking the right talk. You know, they there for you, buy you a nice pair of tennis shoes, a nice little
making
polo
you think
shirt.
they down for you,
school,
you know.
And you happy.
They fuck with you? Nah. They use it.
This is a lot to take in, so let's take a moment to pause and really think about everything.
And destroying your life when you get your hands dirty, so their hands won't be dirty and nothing won't fall back on them.
In his life. All
Dirty.
he's ever known is his immediate surroundings, so he really has no perspective that anything he's doing is wrong. In his own mind, he rationalizes it as, I just wanted to be bad, but we really know that it's much deeper than that. In fact, psychologists will tell you that no child is ever born bad, and that most people are simply just products of their environment. Well, if we're being honest, Terrence was headed down a terrible path, and the only thing that could potentially save him would be to have a better environment. So, what happens from here? Well, sadly, at the age of 12, his home environment would somehow get much worse. This is when Terrence's mother would engage in a relationship with a new boyfriend who had the potential to step up for little T as a father. However, this man was hardly a role model. Well, at least not a good one. In fact, he was possibly the worst influence that Terrence could ever have. So let me explain. His stepfather was not a gangster by any means. In fact, he was a well-respected musician. No,
he was cool. He played the saxophone in the little jazz band he was in.
Not only was he not a gangster, but he also really wasn't even a bad guy.
But he was never one of those disrespectful, grouchy, angry stepfathers. He was one of them smooth, laid-back, player type. He was one of the ones, like, he never put his hand on my mother. He, tall, masculine, nice, and he played that saxophone. He had a matter of fact, he had a perm.
So you might be thinking, why would this guy be a bad influence? He sounds like a pretty solid dude. Well, that's only because you don't know the darker side. The man had his own struggles and addictions, and he used his now stepson to be a vessel to get him his fix.
He would give me money to go around 2nd and Daniel, this hood I started hanging around anyway, to go buy for him. And once again, I'm like, okay, this is something cool, I'm gonna handle this for him, even though I'm young, because in my mind, I'm thinking he's scared to go, somebody might rob or jack him, so I got this, give it here.
Wow.
And I would go
send him out. You send youngin' out to go buy
About a year ago, I was sitting in a cafe in Midtown Manhattan, trying to figure out the best AI business to start, the best way to grow my brand with AI.
And he was only 12 years old.
A lot of people would sit back and they'll watch certain children. They'd be like, okay, that one I can use, that one is scary, that one, no, you can't do, that one that might run his mouth. So, older people, they sit back and watch children who they feel that they can use,
exactly. They can use, right.
So just like with his older brothers, Terrence was being used by his...
And that's true. Because I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? I had an auntie who, she used to do her thing, you know what I'm saying? I used to know a lot of old heads in the neighborhood, old ladies in the neighborhood used to do their thing, and that's how they used to play. They used to get the youngest to, hey, go run this over there, or go grab this for me and bring that back to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had an auntie, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, she used to do her thing. She used to sell mad pills. You know what I'm saying? So she used to wrap them joints up, some tissue. Hey, go over there and take this over there to Cheryl and bring me that money back, please. You know what I'm saying? And I'll take it and run over there and not know, what was going on. I just know my auntie bought something up and told me to go take it to Miss Cheryl across the street. And Miss Cheryl get him money and say, hey, go take this back to, you know what I'm saying? And it got me in a drug deal, and I'm 9 years old, don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it could be like that. You know what I'm saying? It is like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out here who can relate, who came up in the hood, you know what I'm saying? And in those situations like this, and definitely can relate. They all let me know in the comment section. But that's definitely true.
His authority once again. The people who were supposed to look out for him and have his best interests were failing him all the time. However, he wasn't able to see it this way, and this is how he entered his next chapter in the streets. After doing these daily runs for his stepfather, he naturally started making relationships with the hustlers in the neighborhood. So he started hanging with a man named Ernest who would post up on 2nd and Daniil, a major money block in Uptown. But initially, Terrence had no intentions of hustling because for whatever reason it scared him more than anything else. Regardless though, he was still all in on the street life and all he wanted to do was be bad. To this point in his street life, Terrence had only hung around and done things for older people, never anyone his age. But at the age of 13, this would finally change, so let me explain. While at school, Terrence met a girl named Chantel who he ended up forming a close friendship with, if that's what you want to call it. And Chantel so happened to live in the infamous Magnolia Projects.
Chantel Red. I think I want to say Chantel had the little Jerry curl back then, little hairstyle. Mother beautiful, mother real cool. They lived in the Magnolia Project on Ferret Street, but her and I never messed around, if that what you asking.
Yeah, okay, buddy. Well, as their friendship grew, Terrence started going over to her neighborhood after school.
Sometime when we get out of school, I would go to the Magnolia Project. I would hang over there with her and Diva sometime. We just hang out.
This is how Terrence started meeting people in Magnolia, and it pretty much became his second home. They accepted him and it felt like a real community, so he pretty much hung out there every single day. This doesn't matter quite yet, but it definitely will in the future. Well, in the meantime, Chantel would get a new boyfriend who she would also bring over to the Magnolia Projects. Oof. Although her and Terrence were just friends, Terrence was definitely not a fan of her new boyfriend.
And that's when Chantel got the boyfriend, Mosquito. So he started coming back there. I didn't like him at first because he was kind of arrogant. He would get on that bike. He had a bicycle, black handlebars, straight across handlebars. If you had that kind of bike back then, you was somebody in the neighborhood.
I had one of those. I ain't even gonna front. I had a bike like that.
And just ride for blocks. And one day his mother bought him a gold tee, one solid gold tee on the side. And I was cutting class. And I seen him and I was like,
red and black.
I said, let me see. He's like, nah, stop jocking. And kept walking. I'm like, what do you think he is? I just didn't like him, and then him and Chantel started going together.
Mosquito was cool, arrogant, and had a lot of money, and clearly Terrence was not a fan. But being that they were now hanging out in the same circles in the Magnolia Projects, they were bound to have to speak.
Like I said, I would always go in the project by her house, and he started coming over there. So, we would talk because I was already familiar with him through my best friend Rodney Atkins.
After days of talking, Terrence and Mosquito actually figured out that they were pretty much neighbors.
That's how we had met, because
you look
at
like a mosquito too.
When it was time to go home, we would walk the same way because, like I say, we walked. I lived on Phillip between Robinson and Magnolia. He lived on Willow Street between Jackson and Josephine. So, we had to go the same way home. That's how him and I got cool. We started hanging out together.
So through the strangest circumstances, Mosquito and Terrence became really close friends. They quickly found out that they were extremely similar. Like, together, they were pretty much down to do anything bad. They were both running wild and way over violent for their age.
Always want to do something, always was quick to want to rob something, want to jack, kill. He was one of the ones that was, he could be chilling. I'd be like, Mosquito, let's go. It was never one of those. He was never one of the ones that'd be like, no, hold up, no, I don't think. It was always on go, let's do it. Oh, you got it, let's go. He was never chill, but people liked him too. But when it was turn to turn up, that was Mosquito. When it was turn to turn up, that was Mosquito.
This was bad news, as the duo was now trying to prove who could be the worst. It's like when the teacher would accidentally put the two class clowns together and all hell would break loose. Well, although they were only 13, they were both already financially independent. On one hand, Terrence was scraping by doing whatever little petty crimes, and Mosquito was posted up moving weight on second and Daniil.
He's 13 years old. 13 years old. Seriously catching bodies, moving weight, all kind of shit. Well, he's young to be turned up.
Because of this, Mosquito started having a bunch of cash and gold grills in his mouth. At this time in New Orleans, having gold grills was so important, like it was your ticket to getting all of the girls. So naturally, Terrence wanted this as well, except he was not down to sell you-know-what. For whatever reason, it was just something that he never wanted to do, no matter how easy the money could be. But he still really wanted gold grills, so here's what he would do.
The pecan pie, one of those aluminum ash.
Man, I felt the same way too, though. I feel him on that. No matter everything, because I didn't, you know, I dipped and dabbed and I touched and I sold, you know what I mean? But, man, I always value myself. I ain't never touching no crack. I'm not selling no crack. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, nope.
Ashtrays in the pack.
Can't
Well,
be a part
Popeye
of
had the
that.
gold ashtrays back then, so we would go there, steal the ashtrays from Popeyes, get the scissors, cut the little circle bottom part out, so now you got a round little circle. So from there, you could design your gold teeth. Like you could put a diamond in there, heart shape, your initials. You could do a little something with it, right? So I had 4 golds in my mouth.
Boom, problem solved. All he had to do was wear fake gold. But then his genius solution would be exposed.
I mean, it's a lunchtime. I have 3 girls in front of me. Back then, if you had gold teeth in your mouth, a teenager, you were the stuff, you know, you got the attention. Standing up talking to these girls, I don't know what got this girl. First of all, I still can't figure how I let her pull that off that fast, but this girl took her hand and she was so infatuated because she the only one just mesmerized about my gold teeth looking in my mouth. The other girls was just plain and cool. She touched the gold teeth and fell and hit the ground. I looked, and I just took out running and laughed at me because they realized that it was fake.
So yeah, even in middle school, there was a lot of pressure to have money in New Orleans, and that's why Mosquito hustled so hard. He would post up on 2nd and Daniil all day to stack his money. Well, for Terrence, even after this embarrassing incident, he still didn't want to move you-know-what. Sometimes he would hustle here and there, but mostly he was just into being hard. You could almost say that while Mosquito was out and about hustling, Terrence was somewhere lurking around for his protection. Well, quickly, Mosquito started making a lot of money, and this made him a major target. Playing an adult game would come with adult consequences. It's a regular hot summer night in 1988, and Mosquito is outside waiting for customers.
This 2nd Street run like this way. Daniil run this way. So there's a building that we used to hang, there's a store on the corner, and it was an abandoned house where we would hang at. As I'm coming up the sidewalk, I hear some noise. It's nighttime. So when I come around, the guy is choking Mosquito.
So that's when Terrence whips out and targets the robber.
Get him up off him. So, but I hit him and he let him go, and that was the whole purpose. So, when Mosquito ran off.
Thankfully, the guy was okay, but Terrence was feeling like the man for defending his friend.
I was 13 years old. Mosquito Man was at 14.
Well, this is when Terrence and Mosquito realized that their lifestyle was dangerous and they needed to have each other's backs. It's just me and you, Terrence and Mosquito versus everyone.
But we was already tight already because we felt like us coming from this neighborhood and hanging over here with these young boys, that we still had to stick together. And even though these young boys was over here in the neighborhood, they just hang out there. Me and Mosquito was the one selling the in this neighborhood. But definitely me and him like start hanging together every day.
Well, even though Terrence simply acted in defense of his friend, his actions would still piss some people off. In particular, it pissed off a guy named Sterling from the Magnolia Projects. All he knew was that little Terrence had his friend, and because of that, Sterling was looking for him.
Word got to us that Sterling was looking for us.
Ooh, this is serious. Could Terrence be involved in his first beef? Well, even after finding out that Sterling was looking for him,
With Breeze Line's fiber-powered speeds up to 1 gig and 99.9% reliability, with our award
little Terrence was not worried about anything. In fact, he and Mosquito would still hang out in the Magnolia projects, even though it was a potentially risky move. And as you would expect, Sterling would eventually find them.
One night we coming up the project, we coming up the street. A guy on a bicycle, young, little
That's
teenager.
the hood for real. They got the mattress laying out there and all that.
We looking at one another. He don't say them, we don't say them, but it's not till we like pass one another up and we like the distance, maybe like from how this wall is, the room. He was like, who that is? Like, oh, who that is? Oh, this Sterling. So we like, oh, that's the one who want us.
It's a standoff in the Magnolia projects, Sterling and his boys, and Mosquito and Terrence. Terrence is ready with his hand on his pistol as he waits to see what Sterling's gonna do. Thankfully, Sterling doesn't want to get violent. Instead, he just wants to talk. So he approaches Terrence respectfully and all of the tensions ease away. Terrence explains to Sterling that his friend was robbing Mosquito and that's the only reason he did what he did.
He's a young boy,
Even
so he
though
just
his
wanted
best
to talk
friend
to him
was
to find
shot,
out like
Sterling
what
was
happened,
completely
you know?
understanding, and they all decided to shake hands. So that was the story of how Terrence and Mosquito initially met Sterling, which will be very important later on. But in the meantime, they go their separate ways and the story continues. It's now 1989 and Terrence is 15 years old. At this point, he's completely in the streets as he's robbing plugs, stealing cars, and pretty much cutting school every single day. But more importantly, he's eager and willing to take hits for his older brothers. By this time, Birdman and Slim are multi-millionaires in the streets of New Orleans, and their goal is to control the entire market. As you would assume, in order to achieve this, it entailed eliminating a bunch of rivals. So as crazy as this sounds, Terrence would get a call with a description and was willing to eliminate whoever they told him.
I get a phone call. Hey, go on LaSalle and Jackson. Got Stonewall jeans on with a pair of feet. Handle that for me. Got you.
Well, not only was Terrence willing to do hits, but so was Mosquito, simply out of loyalty and just wanting to be bad.
Yeah, they all just came because I always would get the call, but he was become my best friend. So we hanging together already, and he had shot a guy already, so it's like, it's the norm now. Like, okay, look, come on, let's go. Come on, going with you.
Well, the madness would begin on January 14th, 1989. It's a cold winter day and Terrence is inside watching TV at his mom's house. That's when he gets a call asking him to eliminate a man who's hanging out in front of a local corner store. Without any talks or negotiations about compensation, he instantly gets up and agrees to do it. So he puts on a hoodie, grabs his .38 and walks to the local store. When he gets there, he sees the man standing outside, but strangely he doesn't do it right away. Instead, he decides to ask the man for $1.
Guy on the corner. The average person on the corner that's selling and their mind is my block, my hood, don't make it hot, keep it moving, right? I come around, hey man, you got $1? Man, get off around, you're on your begging, man, find yourself.
The man who thinks Terrence is just some little kid who's begging decides to shoo him away. And even though Terrence was gonna do the job anyway, in his mind this gave him an extra reason.
So now, it's like, I already come to do away with you, right? But you on the block and you got your little stuff going, you grinding, you hustling, and you treat this little young boy like a little piece of trash. Brought me in the neighborhood I come from, where you come from, ask you for $1. Because now it went from me doing something for this person to now it's personal now. Because you trumped me. I asked you for $1. I really want to go get me something from the store. Even though I'm going to down you. You gonna get deleted, but you can't give me $1. All right, I got you. Play it off, go to the store.
So Terrence plays it.
And we're like, yeah, I'm still gonna take you out. Still gonna end you, but can I get $1 first? You know what I mean? Let me get $1 first so I get something up out the store first, but yeah, I got you. You're wildin'.
It off and walks in the store like any old customer.
The first step to tackling your credit card debt is understanding
Got it all
how much
planned out.
debt you actually have and how long.
It might would have been like maybe 1 or 2 headshots. So now with you
He said 1 or 2
get on
headshots.
from around here with all that big and the boy get from around you, I'm around here grinding. All right, I walk off, go to the store, he back out there. Now he got 2, 3 females out here. He talking and drug, got a little money in his hand. Me, I just had the gun in my pocket, come out, and a little short little black 38. That's my favorite little gun. And just
Needless to say, Terrence completed the job.
to impress who you're doing it for.
At this point in his life, Terrence understands that he was only doing it to impress his peers and his elders. And given that New Orleans is still the murder capital, he does have a message for the youth.
This day and time, we got these youngsters out here that need to hear from us, that we need to talk to help them. You know, let them know materialistic stuff ain't nothing. Conquer the peer pressure, you know. So that's why I always sit back and I talk about certain stuff to let these youngsters know I've been there already. You know, I know what you're going through, you know, because I was that person who you are today.
Well, at this point, Terrence was a certified goon, and everybody knew it. His name was ringing bells throughout the city, and that's how he got the nickname of Gangsta Williams. Despite being just 15 years old, Gangsta had already managed to claim 6 lives, 4 of which done with Mosquito. It all started in January of '89 and continued for a few months into 1990. To this point, neither of them had ever been arrested for anything, as crazy as that sounds. It's cause at this time in New Orleans, you could literally get away with anything so long that there wasn't a witness. And being a witness in Louisiana is probably the most dangerous thing anyone could do. Even to this day, you will most likely not make it to the date of the testimony. Well, Gangsta and Mosquito knew this, and being told on or ever going to jail was something that they could never even fathom. The only way they could ever go to jail is if they did something completely reckless. So here's what happens. At first they were just a 2-man crew, Mosquito and Terrence stepping and selling everything. But then another guy would come around the neighborhood, a guy who was into a completely different life in the streets. This would be a guy named George Cookie Cooks of the Magnolia Projects.
Okay, it took me a while to really become friends with George Cooks, because when we first come around the neighborhood, he was like a standoffish. He was like maybe a year or 2 older than me. So I was like, yo, they call you Cookie? He looked at me like yeah, like all his answers were short. And I was like, who do you think he is? Because I was trying to be his friend.
As he stated, George was a bit older and he was also a professional car thief.
Here's why.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's a lot to go through at a young age, you know, from 10 all the way up to, you know, what was he, 18? Wow. Yeah, Birdman, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But look, we got to get out of here, y'all. But, you know, See y'all in the next video.
Stay true. Faith walk. Mad issues. Head crack. Shorty caught it like me. The way she dancing on me.